I've had a couple of people reach out to me asking me, how do I get the stuff I work on? And the answer is pretty simple, just ask. But is it really that simple? Well, the real answer is a bit harder to explain and the details are more convoluted, but if I had to sum it up, the best way would be to just look around and be persistent, and it should pay off. In today's video, we look at how I go about getting stuff to work on, and I'm also going to address some of the hurdles I've had to deal with when working on these items. I'm also going to briefly talk about the money side of doing this kind of work or hobby as well. Now, the mowers you see on the screen is just a tiny sample of what I have to work with on a weekly basis. So I'm going to start with the Bolens lawnmower. I just got done working on it, and to be honest, it really didn't need that much to get going again, and that's the reason I love getting these simple mowers with the Briggs Classic engine. Unless the engine was ran without oil, these are really tough to stop. Now, when I first got it, it was pretty dirty and needed a lot of cleaning, which is pretty common. The deck is typically packed with grass or even with dirt, but other than needing to clean off some dirt and oil from around the carb, the engine block as well, the turnaround from picking these up to selling it is very short. So how did I get this particular mower? Well, for this one, it was a free mower I picked up using an online marketplace. I typically never show picking up the items when I find them, but I will show this pic taken from the ad, and as you can see, they were clearing out a lot of baby items as well, so they must have been doing some house cleaning. Now, after you get done fixing it, it's important to use the mower at least once on your own yard just to make sure there aren't any surprises. As you can see, it didn't have a problem starting and running, and to be honest, all I had to do was drain out all the old fuel that was in the tank and clean the air filter, although I think I eventually replaced it. In the end, it didn't take that long to sell this mower, but I wonder if I put too much time and effort into getting it ready. Either way, I only invested a few hours and $2 for an air filter, and in the end, I think I made $60 on a free mower. Hopefully, whoever bought it is going to enjoy using it, at least for a short time. The next mower I have at the moment is this really nice Honda HRX. Now, I didn't ask for this one. In fact, a coworker contacted me about it. This is also a longtime friend who I've known since I was in high school, and by chance, we just ended up working at the same place years later. Now, I don't normally get the good stuff quite so often, and that's because this mower is extremely expensive. You don't have to buy a mower that costs $1,000 to mow your lawn, but it is nice to look at. So in this case, I didn't find the mower using a free online app or website. This time, it found me through word of mouth. If we happened to see each other at work, we'd have a short conversation, and that's when he realized I had a channel where I fix mowers and stuff. Then later on that year is when he contacted me and asked me if I could look at this one. So this one was a bit more conventional because it came about through conversation and face-to-face contact, and I hate to say it, but that's where I get most of my stuff I work on, is by seeing and talking to people. The problem with this particular mower, believe it or not, was with excessive fuel consumption. If you hadn't guessed it, by the fact that the deck was completely packed with grass and loading up the engine, forcing it to work harder, was part of the reason his fuel consumption was so bad. I don't remember if I cleaned this up for him or if I left it this way and give it back to them. So sometimes the fixes don't require any tools. Some of the times it just requires looking at it and realizing what the issue could be. You know, I just realized this, but I think the choke was still on even though I had disengaged it using the throttle lever. I might have to ask to see this mower again so I can fix it. It's unfortunate, but sometimes the thermostat will stick on these, causing the carb to stay choked, which of course will then cause the engine to have poor fuel economy. I'm not sure why I didn't notice this the first time, but at least the problem's going to be solved. Now, recently, I got a comment saying, how is it that you always seem to find really nice stuff? And the answer to that question is, I wish that was true. This part of the video is where I talk about getting stuff to work on, not from friends, family, or even coworkers, but instead complete strangers. And I hate to say it, but when you're giving stuff away, you don't always give away good items, and sometimes you give away junk. Absolute pure trash. Now this one looks like a good score for a free mower. That is until you take a closer look, only to realize this mower has had a long and fruitful life, but all that fruit has already been picked or fallen onto the ground. This mower is worn out, the self-propel doesn't work, and parts of this mower are literally breaking apart. To get this mower working again would take more money than it's worth, and the best option would be to just use it for parts. The only thing I should do with this one would be to make sure the engine starts and runs and doesn't have any serious issues with it, then take it off the deck and put it on a shelf to wait for a different project. Now I know a lot of viewers like Briggs or Kohler engines, but a working engine is better than no engine at all. There is a slight noise while the engine is running. However, I don't think it's coming from the engine. Instead, I think it's coming from the mowing deck, the handle, or something with the self-propel, and I do think the engine is definitely worth keeping, and in the end, this free mower is worth about $100 because it has a working engine. Now, there are plenty of other items you can pick up like this handheld blower. Now, this one was given to me by a friend who lives about an hour away from me, but they were the ones who happened to find it using an online ad. It's the first 4-stroke blower I've seen in person, and I haven't gotten around to looking at it just yet, but I plan to very soon. Now, sometimes you may find a single item being given away, but sometimes you'll find someone giving away several items at once. All you have to do is be persistent when looking at the free sections of an online marketplace. Now, I don't name these free markets in my videos anymore, and that's on purpose, but if you want to know what they're called, all you have to do is look in the comments section, and if for some reason you don't want to look through the comments, simply ask, "What's the free site?" and I'll gladly tell you. I've been able to pick up plenty of mowers, leaf blowers, and string trimmers using these sites, but that's not the only things I've found. I've been able to get small tillers, riding mowers, pressure washers, and even a snow blower, which we don't have around here because where I live, we don't get a lot of snow, just rain. What I recommend doing is if you want to find equipment to flip and sell for profit would be to watch out on trash days for stuff on the curbs. If that doesn't work out, I would then search the free sections of online sites between the hours of 5 and 8 p.m. on the weekdays and all day during the weekends. That seems to be the time and days I seem to find most of my items. The only other piece of advice is to be quick, otherwise I'll beat you to it and you'll have wasted your time and gasoline driving to the spot where it was located at. To be honest, this sort of hobby is not for everyone, but if you have some time on your hands in between jobs, or if you're retired, it's a great way to keep your mind and body active while making a few bucks. Even if you only find 2 mowers and a trimmer the whole year, that's still enough money to buy a new TV or even pay for one of your monthly bills. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time here. Please feel free to ask me any questions about this project or your own projects, and I hope to see you in the next video.